Peace. What's good, YouTube? It's Red Rings back again. So this is one of the first entries on the new channel, the second channel. And what I really want to talk about today is something very important. It is a very important skill and trait that you must master within yourself. And this is really discipline. Without discipline, you cannot achieve anything in your life. Anything. You need the utmost fortitude and the ultimate love for yourself. Discipline is truly self-love because you have to be willing to put in the work to get ahead in whatever your mission is, whatever you came here in life for. And you can't do that without being disciplined. I joined the military at 17 years old and I'm currently still serving. And when I first joined the Marine Corps, the first thing that they made clear, one of the first things that they made clear was that we have no discipline. And truthfully, when you're a civilian going into that type of environment for the first time, you start to realize just how sloppy you are. And discipline was one of the chants that we had, because they're trying to wire it into your head that you have to constantly keep doing things over and over again. They nitpick at every little thing that you do. And the reason why is because it's trying to foster a mindset within you to hold yourself accountable. When you say you're going to do something as a man, as a woman, you need to stick to it. Definitely. You need to stick to it. And what I see, what I hear from a lot of people that I encounter is that they have no discipline. People have desires. People have aspirations. People have dreams, but they do not have discipline. Discipline is not a talent. It is something you have to learn. And truthfully, I don't even really believe in talent, because you can be talented and still not be shit. I get told I'm good at a lot of things, but the one thing that I know I've really got down pat that makes me good at a lot of things is that I don't give up. I learned from giving up because I had shame about the fact that I ever gave up in my life. And I was taught not to. I have the openness and willingness to learn from my mistakes, to look at myself honestly. And I had discipline, but those things I learned. And you can't get discipline from just watching a YouTube video. You have to be out and about. You have to really be committed. You can't commit to anything. One of my drill instructors, they told me when I was in boot camp that I had no commitment. What he was really saying, I didn't understand it at the time, but there was a point in time he stopped messing with me. And I'm pretty sure it was when I showed that commitment to what I was doing, when I showed that discipline. They usually yell at everybody for not having discipline in the boot camp, but that was something that when it clicked, I realized what it was and it stopped being an issue. But just because you have it doesn't mean it won't disappear. Doesn't mean you won't have days where you want to take it easy. You want to be a little bit less committed. You need discipline to do anything worthwhile in life, whether it's having a relationship, being married, whether it's having a child, taking care of that child, getting a job, having a career, starting a business, making YouTube videos, starting a website, going to college. You need discipline for anything worthwhile in life. You don't need discipline to sit on your ass and do nothing. You don't need discipline to complain. You don't need discipline to be dependent on whatever system or person you think is going to save your life. You don't need discipline for any of those things. And what I really think is being taught now is that we are being taught to be docile. Why you think they come at people like Andrew Tate? Why do you think they come at anyone who's trying to really uplift society or uplift the mindset of people collectively and tell you that you have to really take accountability? But see, we don't want to be accountable. People don't want to be accountable. You just want everything to fall in your lap, but that's just not how life works. The human experience, and I've said this on my other channel, but the human experience is meant to challenge you. That's why you go through all this BS here. That's why you got traumatic experiences. That's why life just seems to not work out in your favor. It's for you to take ownership. Anybody can say they're a God. Anybody can say that God's taking care of them. You want to know one thing I want to say? God will never answer your prayers if you have no self-ownership, no accountability. If you pray and you ask for handouts, don't expect an answer. And this is exactly why Islam has a required way of prayer, to keep you from asking for stupid shit. And I'm not Muslim, but I can see why Islam has structured prayer. You know what I mean? And so, in all respect, to Allah, all respect to anyone who's religious, you know what I'm saying? But that's just a shout out. I used to be Muslim a little while ago. And one of the things that I really learned in Islam, it takes a lot of discipline for anything. That's why they have a whole month dedicated to being disciplined on what you eat and what you say, how you act, how you carry yourself. That's what Ramadan is for, discipline. That's what Islam really takes. It takes discipline. That's why people are scared when they hear about it. Oh, you actually got to take the religion seriously? Yes. And because, with other things, you don't have to take it as seriously. It's more up to you if you want to take yourself seriously. And that's the problem. That's the problem. That's where the corruption comes in, because you are entrusting yourself when you built up no foundation to hold it all together. It's ridiculous. How are you gonna achieve anything in life if you have no foundation? You have no discipline. You have no physical discipline. You don't work out. You don't take care of yourself. You don't eat properly. You have no mental discipline. You let your body take control. You do whatever you want instead of you controlling your body with your mind. If you have any type of addiction, there's a discipline deficiency. Any type of addiction. And I'm not speaking on a high horse, because this is exactly why I taught no fat. That's exactly why I started preaching no fat. Because at one point I did have a problem with video games. I did have a problem. I wasn't living in reality because I was looking for an escape. So, but you can only get rid of things when you start really holding yourself accountable. You have to do that. And if you don't do that, how do you expect any change in your life? And discipline starts in the mind. And a really good way to build a discipline is to start slaying your body in the gym. That's how I did it. Is to start really getting into it. To start monitoring what you eat, how you eat. If you can't even do those simple tasks, how can you do anything bigger than that? It starts with the mind. You have to make that mind and that body connection. Then you have to make a mind and a heart connection and what you really want to do in this world for your mission. That's important. And I've never heard no undisciplined person going on a real mission before. It's exactly why you have to have those type of fundamentals to serve in the military. And if you don't, you get phased out. They have to get rid of that weak link. It requires a certain amount of discipline to be successful in business. It requires a certain amount of discipline to complete a degree. It requires a certain amount of discipline to finish out a career. To make real money in this world requires a certain amount of discipline. Spiritual work requires a lot of discipline, the utmost discipline. And I'm not talking about crossing your legs and sitting, straight up for 3 hours. It's more than that. It's more than just meditation. It's just the willingness to learn spiritually, to read books, to do actual research, put what you read into practice, to actually do research instead of just listening to what somebody says. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are listening to just what people say, and they just end up replacing what they already believed in with spirituality. When you have to verify for yourself, you have to find real conviction in something you truly believe in. Do real research. That's what discipline really takes, and you need that. Is the ultimate tool. And I can't recommend truthfully getting on your shit and putting yourself to the test. Because if you're not willing to do that, do you really love yourself? Because I don't think so. All the times that I was undisciplined in my life, I always had those aspirations, but some just didn't quite click until I really sat down and said, let me start doing stuff. Let me start doing work. It's exactly why I write every day. It's exactly why I draw every day. Because I know I have a goal in my mind. I have to get this book out. It's why I record, because I know I have to get a message out. It's why I show up to work every day, because I have to make money. Why? Because I have to push myself forward. I have to set myself up for success in the future, to fund my business in the future, to fund what I have right now, to make the proper investments, to make the proper calls. But I can't do that if I'm just living all willy-nilly, going out getting drunk every day, playing video games all day and night. Only time I play video games is when I'm coming up for a topic on my other channel, on the KJ channel. But I'm not just going to sit there and just play to play. Unless it's really one of those nights when I've finished everything. And, I'm not saying don't have fun, but, we have to change your definition of fun with discipline. You have to change your definition of success. You have to change your definition. Because if you don't change those definitions, you're going to still live within that same frame. Every person should be in the gym if they are physically and mentally capable. Get there. That's where you should start. You should be conscious of what you eat. You should be conscious of how you use this vessel that you inhabit every day. You should be very conscious of every step that you take, every bite that you make, every move that you make. Very conscious. Don't just do what other people are doing. Don't just listen to what somebody else tells you. Find your own path. And it takes discipline to do that. It takes discipline to take ownership for your life, and life is not a game. Respectfully, it's really not. I mean, it does become one at some point once you really start to gain full control over it. That's different, but it's not something that is meant to truly be played with. I'm not saying take it too seriously, but take it seriously enough so that you don't live here not in control. Because ultimately, it really is all in your control. And whatever spiritual thing, it's only going to give you the pointers, but you still have to open the doors. You still have to do the work. You still have to follow the promptings. You still have to do everything. That's your duty to yourself and to whatever higher power you might believe in, whether it's yourself or God, whatever the case may be. That's your duty. And so, with that being said, you got to take some time. This is the exercise for this video. What you need to do is you need to get a notebook. You need to start really being accountable for what you do on a day-to-day basis and really see how that's aligning with your future goals, your long-term goals. and see if you are where you're supposed to be. And you need to really be accountable about that. You need to be monitoring how much time you spend consuming, and you need to balance that with creating. You need to balance that with doing something productive. If you're not producing, you are slowly dying. I guarantee you that. I guarantee. We exist as creators. That's why it's said that you're made in God's image. God is the creator. You're made in that image. Man came down here to create. Woman came down here to create. Not just children, not just big head ass babies walking around. No, it's more than that. Physically, that's what you do. But on a higher level, what are you doing? That's what you have to ask yourself. What you're here for on that level. And when you get those answers, then you need to start following through. Then you need to hold yourself accountable. So make a checklist. Keep a journal. Get in the gym. Start doing whatever it is that you set a long-term goal and saying that I'm going to do this. Start doing it. Start doing the spiritual work. Start reading more, whatever the case is. Do all those things. But you need to be accountable. You need to be disciplined. It is the ultimate tool. So with that being said, peace.